have a mug. Oh my god. Here, I'll use this one because I forgot to use it when I did the Chip and Dale cartoon video. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel where I cover nostalgic, obscure, or otherwise strange content. I did not plan on doing this video. I was gonna cancel doing this video altogether. But ever since last month when I covered an episode, the pilot episode actually, of the original Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers cartoon, everybody was asking me if I was going to cover the movie that just came out on Disney Plus, because it's supposed to be this big nostalgic reboot of a movie. And if you remember in my Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers video that I did last month, I specifically and very directly said fuck you Disney because of their shady business practices and, you know, anti-LGBTQ statements and, you know, rallying behind Republicans that made the Don't Say Gay bill and all that super fun jazz. I actually haven't done anything related to Disney on this channel since then because I've been trying to kind of figure out how I want to deal with them now. And the sentiment, by the way, still stands. Fuck Disney. But it's also reality that, especially with things like this channel, there's really no avoiding Disney. I think they own like 60% of media or something ridiculous like that. So I've come to the conclusion that I am going to continue to cover Disney stuff that I want to talk about or the community wants me to talk about. There's really no platforming Disney, especially as a small creator on YouTube. But I am very much going to do my best to try to raise awareness for some charities that are doing good for the communities being disadvantaged by Disney, the company, while we talk about Disney, the fun media that we all love. And I'm actually going to pin the donation link where you can give money to the Trevor Project under this video, because if we're gonna enjoy the media, we might as well call out the people that are terrible that made the media. The other reason I want to talk about the Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers movie, aside from everybody asking me to talk about it, is that I kind of added the movie last month when I made the video about the cartoon. I basically said, you know, you can't judge a movie that I haven't seen, but I thought it was probably going to be terrible. And I even reiterated my sentiments on a recent live stream just a couple weeks ago, if I'm remembering correctly. So now that I have watched the movie, I feel like it's only fair that I also talk about it and share my thoughts on it now that I actually can form an opinion on it. And not to give anything away, because I do very much want you to keep watching and not click off the video, I'm gonna be honest, this movie, I thought it was gonna be awful and I thought I could just have some fun ripping it to shred. It's actually pretty good, she says with a question mark at the end of her sentence. Like, it's no Who Framed Roger Rabbit, but it's a pretty fun ride. And obviously we're gonna get into the nitty-gritty of like the whole movie and my thoughts about, you know, different parts of the movie, but like, yeah, I was expecting it to just be a trash fire, and really it did surprise me with the story that it did want to tell. So yeah, while I'm here to bash Disney as a company, the movie's, you know, pretty solid. If anybody watches Straw Hat Goofy on TikTok, shout out, he is a great movie reviewer, like the best. I actually was only reminded that this movie dropped on the day that it did because he posted a TikTok saying that he could not believe how Disney's lawyers were able to pull this movie off with all of the different characters and IPs that they got to kind of borrow for this thing. And I kind of was like, okay, but what can't Disney get a hold of? They own most of everything anyway. But you know what? He's right. Some of these, I'm not sure how they got this to happen. Like, just watch. Count how many times I point out an IP that I noticed in this movie. And some of them I never would have seen coming. I'm just gonna get into the video now because I've talked my head off about it already and we haven't even started watching any footage. Obviously this movie is brand new, so I might have to put in way less clips than normal, but I'm gonna do my best to make the video good. And for legal reasons, I am not telling you to use this video as a replacement for watching the movie. And I'm definitely not telling you to watch this movie in less than legal ways that's not involved with giving Disney money. I'm not saying that. Before the movie even starts, we get the classic opening with the Disney, you know, Cinderella's castle. And then look at that, the castle gets zapped into like 5 other castles from other Disney movies. So right off the bat, we know this is one of those crossover-y movies. We see right away that this is a mix of animated and live action filming, much like Roger Rabbit, but this time around we have the addition of 3D animated characters. You know, characters from all different art styles.
What's the first thing that pops into your head when I say Chip and Dale?
Rescue Rangers.
Thomas Chip and Dale.
That guy too.
But I bet the second thing that pops into your head
Rescue Rangers.
are these guys!
Those guys too.
Chip and Dale.
Are we talking about the Rescue Rangers now? Okay. So this is a flashback to the day that Chip and Dale meet. In this version, they are best friends. They are not brothers, which I always thought growing up.
Ah, my eye! It's in my eye!
And Dale is not a very popular kid. I don't know about you, but if a talking chipmunk rolled up on my school, I'd be super excited, but the kids are not having it, so he's all alone.
Mind if I sit?
And then who walks up with a Knight Rider lunchbox? It's Chip, and this is how they meet.
We were perfect together.
And so they're friends for life now. They grow up together. We see them go to Hollywood, where apparently they themselves write and develop the beginning ideas for the Chip and Dale show.
Good, I love it.
They take some bit parts in some TV shows and commercials. They even retcon Full House so that we can see the Chipmunks, Chip and Dale, as extras in it.
How would you like your own show?
And then they land the TV show.
Chip and Dale, Rescue Rangers.
Yes, these are clips from the actual show. God, I just covered the cartoon like so recently that this is just like I have this whole sequence memorized in my head, the whole like theme song intro.
Nice work, everyone.
So now it's 1990 and we're getting a behind the scenes look. Go with me. You'll get used to it in a second. We're getting a behind the scenes look at, you know, them on the set of Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers, wrapping up for the night.
To many more seasons of the Rescue Rangers.
It seems like they're wrapping for the season because there's like a big party.
Dancing the Roger Rabbit with Roger Rabbit.
You knew Roger Rabbit had to make a cameo. Honestly, I'm just glad to see them use the character again. I love Roger Rabbit. He's so much fun.
So fun.
But apparently Dale is not as happy as Chip with their arrangement because Dale is going solo.
Ta-da! Double O Dale.
He's gonna leave Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers and he's gonna go be like a 007 type.
Do you know how dumb that is?
Well, I am the dumb one.
So they have a fight and this is where their friendship dissolves. Very sad.
Rescue Rangers was canceled that summer and Double O Dale was scrapped after the pilot.
Well, yeah, no one's gonna watch that. I definitely didn't. Now it's present day. And Dale is still very much chasing fame. He is at a type of, it's called Fan Con. It's like Comic Con. If you've been to a convention, you know what I'm talking about. Baloo! Some of the other celebrity guests at Fan Con include Baloo from the Jungle Book, but the CGI movie, right? Which canonically, it's the same character. He's just had CGI surgery to revitalize his career.
Baloo was part of the Disney afternoon, just like me.
Much like Dale.
Your CG surgery was done very tastefully.
And this is the part, we're not even 10 minutes in, and this is the part where I broke. This is the part where I just was like, all right, I don't know what's gonna happen anymore. I am in disbelief.
Yes, Ugly Sonic.
Another person at this convention who is if you can believe it or not, he will be a very important character, is Ugly Sonic.
Not like last time when the internet got one look at my human teeth and burned the place down.
Not Sonic. No. The Ugly Sonic. You remember like 2 years ago where the internet broke because the Sonic movie was coming out and Sonic looked all weird and everybody hated him and he had the weird teeth? Is that Sonic?
You can't hurt my feelings if I'm in on the joke.
Are you, though?
This Sonic is a different entity than Sonic, and he is kind of bitter that he got replaced by regular Sonic in the movie, and is still trying to catch his big break. I can't believe that I'm saying it either. Oh, geez, the teeth are pretty bad. It's the worst part of Ugly Sonic.
Your positivity is infectious.
Oh, it's Lumiere.
Don't you think you'd have more fans here if Chip did these events with you?
Tigra mentions Chip to Dale, and then we start to see where Chip is after all this time.
Life is the worst. Which is why you need good insurance.
He's selling insurance. He's got some work friends, but his life is pretty boring.
Flounder's disappearance marks the 6th notable cartoon.
Oh god, Flounder's gone missing. This is gonna become relevant. This is part of the main story, but this is how we find out. Flounder has been kidnapped.
There's my widow girl.
He has a dog, but no other family.
Of course they're rapping. They always have to make the cartoons rap.
He's apparently got beef with Alvin and the Chipmunks.
It's me, Monterey Jack.
Monty?
And then he gets a call from Monty asking him to hurry down to his place, and he hasn't talked to Monty in years, so he drops everything.
Quick, get him while the coast is clear.
Monty seems pretty paranoid, and also he's fallen on hard times because he can't kick his cheese habit. Very sad.
Now I owe a ton of money to the Valley King.
The Valley Gang.
We already are getting like the darker tones, the seedy underbelly of this world.
They're gonna bootleg me.
Bootleg you?
Did you hear what happened to that little guy, Flounder?
So, okay. Flounder got into some trouble with the Mafia, or this movie's version of the Mafia.
This is a genuine dingle hopper.
And he got bootlegged. And bootlegging in this world is being kidnapped, stripped of all your brand identifying qualities, and being forced to star in shady knockoffs of Disney movies. This movie is about human trafficking, you guys. I can't make this up. What the hell?
Oh, no, that's awful.
You see why I need to vent on camera about this goddamn movie? Jesus.
I know Gadget and Zipper missed you also.
Yeah? How are they doing?
We also learned that Gadget married Zipper, the ship that I never saw coming. Maybe that was just me, but good for them.
Dale.
Chip!
And then Dale shows up and they're pissed at each other.
The real hot ticket is Rescue Rangers. Someone started a Facebook fan page for it and everything.
Crikey, a Facebook fan page?
Man, that's almost as lame as like having a channel on YouTube where you bitch about movies that came out 30 years ago.
Great to take this skip down memory lane, but I've gotta go.
So yeah, Chip storms out. He's had enough of everybody's bullshit.
Ambush me. Talking about a reboot.
He's all mad about soulless reboots. Wink. Disney knows exactly what they're doing. He sees movies advertised to him such as Fast and Furious Babies, Meryl Streep in a reboot of Mrs. Doubtfire, and also Batman vs. E.T.
Okay. Yeah, that one looks pretty good.
It does look good. And they've actually included a little bit of this movie just so that we would see what it might look like.
E.T. Forgive Bat.
Fine.
Disney went to the trouble of licensing Batman and E.T. for like the 10 seconds of a movie within a movie. Somebody was on crack while they were making this thing.
Monty's been kidnapped.
What?
But then Chip gets a phone call that Monty has been kidnapped. He rushes back to his apartment and he and Dale meet the police chief, ? I think he's the chief.
Take this to the lab.
He's voiced by J.K. Simmons and he's clearly like a Gumby type. At some point in the movie they call him a Gumby knockoff. My theory, and I can't prove this, but my theory is that they wanted it to actually be Gumby based on everything else about this movie, and for some reason Gumby was the thing that they couldn't get, which seems ridiculous when you see some of the things they do get licensing for. But yeah, he's a very obvious like Gumby type character and he's the police chief.
He was afraid of being bootlegged since he was somewhat of a star in the early 90s.
He's actually stop motion animated so that they even got to work that into this movie.
Chief, the press are outside waiting for a statement.
Hey, there's a sock puppet! If that sock puppet is famous for something else, I apologize to the sock puppet, but I'm just interested that it's a sock puppet.
I'm Ellie Steckler. I am a huge fan.
Really?
There's also this detective, Ellie. She's a huge fan of Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers.
The problem is we don't know where Sweet Pete's bootlegging facility is.
She tells him about this big crime boss named Sweet Pete. You guys haven't seen Sweet Pete yet, but I still have a lot to unpack about him when we get there, but just give me a second.
We're as much real detectives as the Scooby-Doo gang.
Exactly, that's what—
Damn, I didn't see Scooby-Doo anywhere in here. I wish I had seen Scooby-Doo. If somebody has watched it and has seen Scooby-Doo, let me know.
I threw this out when I came over earlier. Bjornson's Cheese Shop.
They track Monty's cheese to having been sold on a cheese shop on Main Street, and Dale convinces Chip to go with him to follow up on this lead for Monty's sake.
Look, if we're gonna solve
The case of the missing Monty.
Oh, God.
there's no faster way to gain someone's respect than to dress like an important business magnate.
Dale does a costume change, and they roll up on Main Street.
Oh, Wow, it seems kind of nice.
It looks so much like Main Street at Disney World, I can't even rule out that that's where it was filmed. I have no idea. But it obviously is meant to look like that.
It's a bunch of cartoons trading on their wholesome public image to keep the cops away.
But in this universe, Main Street is like a big front. Like every store is a front for some illegal business. So maybe Disney doesn't want us to think it's Main Street from Disney.
To keep the cops away.
Hey, look, it's Lindana.
I think this is our guy.
And then we roll up on this like Swedish chef type Muppet.
Do you have any stinky cheese?
And we get led into his illegal cheese shop that's literally underground.
Take a look at this photo.
I don't know nothing. Now either buy some cheese or get out.
He's not very helpful.
My boss, Sweet Pete, he loves actors.
Yeah, who doesn't?
In fact, he doesn't like them very much, to the fact where they end up tied up in the back of his truck on their way to be brought to Sweet Pete.
Is that Jessica Rabbit over there? I'm only asking because I'm zip-tied in the back of a truck!
Eventually they get out, and by the way, props to not just the animation team for doing all of the animation and mixing it together, but props to the team of camera people who had to get the live action stuff taken care of in a way that they could then hand it over to the animation departments, because there were multiple for sure, and make sure that everything was timed correctly and everything was smooth. Good for them. They're the unsung heroes of this whole thing.
I think we're in the valley. The Uncanny Valley.
Where are we? Well, we are in the Uncanny Valley. This is where we see things like the cats from Cats, the movie.
Where everything looked real, but nothing looked right?
Yeah, basically, Uncanny Valley animated characters live here. It's very creepy and unsettling.
Who are you?
It looks like you're talking to that window.
There's this guy who's like the right-hand man for Sweet Pete. I don't recognize him as a character from anything specifically. He reminds me of Christmas Present from Christmas Carol with Jim Carrey. If he is from something and I'm just dumb, please let me know. But in this, he's voiced by Seth Rogen.
This is Sweet Pete's legit business. It's for old merchandise that never got sold.
He's part of a business run by Sweet Pete that takes old merchandise and makes them into porta potties.
Well, you remember Shrek Body Wash? Exactly. No one does.
Oh, God. Wait, was that an actual thing? I have a very, faded memory of something similar to this. Maybe I'm just making it up in my head. They did apparently sell some branded Shrek soap. That's horrific.
Here we are!
So now it's time to meet Sweet Pete. And if you don't know what's coming, I'm truly sorry, because once you see this, you cannot unsee this.
Hello.
Sweet Pete is grown-up Peter Pan. Peter Pan from the original Disney movie. I can't believe Disney did this.
You know, I got my big break when I was just a kid. I got cast in the biggest movie in the world.
We get his tragic backstory. He was a child star that got too old for Disney to use him, so he just didn't have a career anymore. Hey, so I'm cutting in because I just learned something. The video is basically done right now, but I just learned something as the video was on its way out the door that I did not know and I thought was relevant. So apparently, and maybe some of you knew this, the voice actor who played the original Peter Pan in the original movie had a very tragic life that was very similar to grown-up Peter Pan's life in this movie. And it's kind of become a controversy all over the internet because people think that they did it intentionally, that they're basically making fun of a person's death, and if they did, that's fucked up and terrible. It could just be a coincidence because when I watched it, I just thought it was a commentary on child stars in general. But yeah, it's weird. It makes it even weirder. This movie is just it's like a roller coaster that I can't get off of. But I just wanted to point that out because I had no idea. And now in retrospect, it just makes everything sadder, you know?
I decided to take the power back and make my own bootleg movie.
Until he decided to make a knockoff Peter Pan movie, and then he started making money, so he started making knockoff movies of all kinds of things.
So I recruited other toons to star in more movies.
From what I hear, the way that Disney treats their real-life child stars is not far off from Sweet Pete, but so far nobody's made a movie called Spaghetti Dogs that I know of.
And now you two come poking around where you don't belong.
Sweet Pete does not like that they're asking around his totally legitimate businesses, so they run.
No! It's our only chance! Live a little!
Live a little? You seem excited about this.
They escape by flushing themselves down a very disgusting looking toilet. If you feel shell-shocked, so do I, but I'm just gonna keep going, because I have no other choice. Oh, I heard that ringing and I legitimately thought it was my phone ringing, and my phone doesn't even ring like that. What the hell? There's this billboard up here for Lego Ms. Rob, and I really, really wish that was a real thing. I would 100% watch that movie. If you're fishing for ideas, movie companies, god damn it, I guess that's one of them. I'll watch it.
Hello? Dale?
There's a very terrifying part where we and Chip all think Dale has died, he's drowned.
Dale, you're alive!
And then we find out that he's fine. That's just a plush toy.
I love you too.
Don't make it about you. I was traumatized.
I'm traumatized. Damn it, Chip. This whole movie is traumatizing. They meet back up with the detective that they met before, the one that was their big fan.
The captain doesn't really value my opinion too much.
Her tragic backstory is that she wants to redeem herself because she had a little bit of a mishap on the job.
Last year when Peppa Pig went missing,
What the fuck?
I made the whole squad raid Nickelodeon Junior Studios.
What the hell happened?
And the Toons fought back.
You did what?
Paw Patrol attacked Sergeant Henderson.
Oh, I don't put anything past Paw Patrol.
The doctors say he'll never have kids.
So she's got a little bit of trauma to work out on her own.
Behold, the crime lab.
Dale has this whole garage full of old Chip and Dale memorabilia.
It actually shows Rescue Rangers ratings in every U.S. market in 1991.
Huh, I wonder if that map is at all accurate. Probably not.
Hey, Ellie, didn't you say you were from Albany?
Born and raised.
Well, according to this map, Rescue Rangers never aired in Albany.
Well, that's suspicious.
My grandma, she used to tape all the episodes and send them to me.
Well, Chip doesn't trust her, so I'm sure that'll come back later.
What if we did episode 45?
45?
Which one is episode 45?
You dressed up like a rat to fool me.
Oh, of course, the one with the rat disguises. I remember, I'm not a fake Chip and Dale fan. So, the next day, they do indeed dress up like rats who are janitors?
Go Yanks! And hot dogs, bagels, and pizza!
Or plumbers, I'm sorry. Rats that are plumbers. You know, like rats do?
Now keep a low profile and go find Sweet Pete's locker.
They're trying to find Sweet Pete's locker, and I don't know how this guy from before runs into them and doesn't recognize them, but God, his design is unsettling.
Whoa, it's him.
The fact that Sweet Pete is wearing a real-life coat? I wonder how they did that. They must have, like, had a stand-in or something, but it's kind of impressive. It's hurting my head to think about how they did that.
I know you. Oh no.
They run into this guy who is a very intimidating but very big super fan.
I am huge fanboy!
Ah,
He has a remix of the theme song he wants them to rap.
we are not rapping. Right. There is nothing more pathetic than an old cartoon character trying to seem cool again by rapping.
Chip.
I don't know why they say that like that's something that always happens. Is that something that Alvin and the Chipmunks are known for these days and I'm just way behind? I don't know.
My name is Dale. I don't eat whale.
Dale tries to freestyle while Chip gets into the locker.
Take the mic.
A zooby zong, zooby 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 zong.
And then Chip has to freestyle while Dale gets into the locker for real.
Same time.
Jinx!
They're getting the band back together, you guys. But they manage to get out of there right before Seth Rogen finds them.
Then I rapped. What a rush.
Yeah, it was horrible. So they take the information back to the police chief, and they basically do a giant raid.
Ready the battering ram!
Oh, the battering rams are actual rams. Got it. Why wouldn't they be?
Careful. Don't touch anything.
We see a bunch of evidence of characters that have been bootlegged, like Sneezy and Garfield.
Garfield's little body can't take muscles like that.
There's this giant machine that, like, the tunes get put in it, and it basically changes them to look however the settings say they're supposed to look.
That's not good.
And of course they get stuck going through it. We get a brief look at what Chip and Dale will look like in a bunch of different styles, and then they have to fight for their lives.
It's like episode 121.
Mission Chip Possible.
They come out mostly unscathed, except for Chip now has one Snoopy ear, which he'll have for a hot second, and it bothered me the entire time he had it, so anyway. Just like his ears aren't even now. They're two different ears. Also, you remember how I said that when you get bootlegged, you get your brand identifying features taken from you? Well, they literally find baggies with a bunch of pieces of characters. It's gruesome.
Monty's mustache.
This is like something out of the Blacklist, but with cartoon characters. Among the other things, we see Jimmy Neutron's hair. Oh my god. I used to love Jimmy Neutron. I covered the movie ages ago on this channel. But they also find Monty's mustache, so things are looking pretty bad for Monty.
With this factory shut down,
oh god.
How does it feel to have made the city safer for Toons?
Oh, looking at her hurts. It's all blurry. Somebody tell me if the 3D glasses, like if you put 3D glasses on, if it actually makes her 3D. I don't know.
I still want my reboot.
Sweet Pete and gang are still very much after the Chipmunks. They managed to track them pretty easily because Dale is very active on Instagram or Bongo Live. I guess they couldn't get Instagram. The things that they could and couldn't get rights to is shocking, to be quite honest.
What is wrong with you?
What? It's my job.
It's a choice.
Back at the police station, they get into another fight.
You left, Dale. You left me high and dry.
If you could just scooch a bit from the coffee.
Yes.
Yeah, guys, argue away from the coffee. It's also funny because this right here, if you can see this stack of cups, that's probably just cups that actual Crafty had that they probably just set up there. And I've drank many a cup of coffee on movie sets, trust me.
Now your collection is complete.
Chip gives Dale the Rescue Ranger's pin that he's had all these years because it's the last one he would need to complete his collection and is like, look, man, I'm out.
No. Smell.
And then they catch a whiff of Monty's cologne.
Almond butter and gasoline.
Sure, that smells great.
Why would Buddy's office smell like that?
They start to suspect that this is an inside job, that the cops or somebody in the police station is behind the whole bootlegging thing or working with the bootleggers.
Putty's office stunk of it, which means someone had direct contact with Monty.
Oh, hey, Butthead's running for public office. Huh, bet that goes well.
Ellie, something has been off about her the whole time.
Chip thinks that it's Ellie, the detective, that's a big fan of theirs because he thinks that she's faking being their fan.
We don't know who we can trust.
So without the police to help them out because the police are potentially dirty, who else do they turn to? But Ugly Sonic. I told you he'd be important.
You want me to go fast? That's Sonic's thing. Ugly Sonic goes slow.
God, Jesus, thank God. Do you think they were actually going to put this Sonic movie out with that Sonic, or do you think it was all a publicity stunt from the beginning? I really don't know. But that is a horrific character design.
I'll run it by my producers later when I see him at the chateau.
But then they have to run from Sweet Pete and co, who have caught up to them at FanCon. So there's a chase scene through a crowd. Let's see who we can pick out in the crowd. You've got Paul Rudd as Paul Rudd. Gotta love him.
Oh, what?
Peter!
We've got one of the Lost Boys.
You got old.
Yeah, death is coming for us all, kid.
Relatable, but also, how did he not grow up? How did Sweet Pete grow up and not... I'm confused.
There's something down there.
There's nothing down there, you boob.
We get He-Man and Skeletor. This is just reminding me of things that I need to cover. I've done a He-Man video before, but I really should do another one.
What?
Chip gets his hat and jacket back because they run by the Indiana Jones display.
Think happy little thoughts. Definitely pulled something.
The use of the You Can Fly music in the background. I hasten to mention that Disney doesn't go as far as to make any meta commentary on the problematic parts of Peter Pan, and maybe that's not this movie's place, but I definitely see a trend of Disney not actually wanting to comment on the actual problems that Disney has created, but that's really beside the point. Transformers, check. Somewhere in here is a stampede of My Little Ponies, there's that.
What are you looking at?
And this part also broke me. The Seth Rogen voice character runs into 3 characters from 3 other properties, all voiced by Seth Rogen. You've got Pumbaa from the live-action Lion King. You've got Mantis from Kung Fu Panda, and you've got, I forget his name, Blobby guy from Monsters vs. Aliens. And that is pretty funny. Dale gets away, but Chip does not, so we're in a bit of a predicament. Uncanny Valley guy, he gets picked up by the police.
You're gonna arrest me while Jack Skellington's been embezzling from his own charity for years?
What? Oh no, cancel Jack Skellington. I'm so disappointed. Now Sweet Pete and the polar bear, which is that supposed to be a Polar Express polar bear? A Coca-Cola polar bear? I missed it, but somewhere back there they say, Jinx, you owe me a non-brand specific cola or something.
You owe me a non-brand specific cola!
Which I'm perfectly sure that they could have been, had brand placement for Coca-Cola. They just wanted to make that joke. But anyway, where's the polar bear from?
Where's Dale?
He'll be here. Keep your pants on.
I don't wear pants.
But anyway, they're holding Chip, and then Ellie comes to save his life. So he's like, wow, I shouldn't have been so hard on Ellie.
Nah. How about you, Freeze?
Oh my god, if Ellie isn't the bad guy, who could the dirty cop be?
Drop it, Steckler.
What? It's Detective Putty. It's Detective Putty. I think we all called this. At least I did, but maybe that's just, I don't know.
How cliche.
I know!
They even call themselves out for how predictable it is, which, like, this whole movie, and I'm gonna get into this a little bit more towards the end, but this whole movie is basically just Disney doing a bunch of stuff that they know they'll get kind of called out for, whether it be like fan service stuff or the whole reboot angle. And the whole point is they're kind of just like winking and nodding at the camera and being like, yeah, we're gonna do this. What are you gonna do about it? Because they're self-aware.
I know, it's terrible. I am so ashamed.
It's like, is it lamp shading? Like when you call yourself out so that other people can't? To like get out ahead of them? They're doing that for the whole movie.
Hello? I think I just saw Peppa Pig heading into Nickelodeon Jr.
It was you?
Which, like, I love meta commentary. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. It's just, you know, that's just the thing. That's just what this movie is. But now that Ellie and Chip are both being held captive, they force her to call Dale to lure him there, and she gives him a code.
When you fish upon a star, that's my favorite episode.
Oh!
She references one specific episode of the old cartoon, and when he watches it, he gets an idea.
Gadget is stuck in a lantern. Lanterns provide light.
Okay, buddy, I think that's a little crazy.
Ellie is tied up and in danger!
I mean, he got there in the end, so I'm not gonna complain.
Start!
He knows where to go, but his car is broken, and this is the point of the movie where if you're like me, you're thinking, where the fuck is Gadget? Where is she? Are we only gonna get to see her in that one picture? But no, here is Gadget.
Honey, someone's doing a cool pose in the driveway.
And Gadget is the only character from Rescue Rangers, apparently, that's literally just herself on and off camera. You gotta love it.
Dale, old chum, the sight of you lights my heart aglow.
And I think Zipper is voiced by the Allstate guy? I'm blanking on his name, but that's him, right? I could look it up, but I'm too over it right now. Let me keep going.
Rangers, I need your help.
Dale enlists their help. Meanwhile, Chip is about to be completely bootlegged. That Snoopy ear is going to be the least of his problems.
With feet for ears and a dog snout where your tail should be.
Okay, honest feedback? That sounds terrible.
Yeah, that's terrible. Don't do that. As Zipper and Gadget fly Dale to the location to meet up with Chip and Ellie and rescue them, he gets a call from his agent that he turns down because character growth.
Friends are more important than business.
Yeah! Probably shouldn't have thrown your phone, though.
Nope.
Shh, Gadget. It's character arc. Let it happen.
Well, it was a good run. No, it wasn't. Who am I kidding?
They were definitely going for the tired millennial angle with Chip.
But you're like known for constantly making terrible decisions.
I know, right?
Rescue Rangers!
Chip very recklessly blasts in just in the nick of time.
Chip, you're okay?
Yeah, you came for us. I never doubted you, buddy.
Oh, but he's only got the one ear. Oh, he's fine. I don't know how he's fine, but he's fine. So everybody's fine for right now.
Listen, I get how you feel. Things didn't work out the way you wanted, right?
They try having a heart-to-heart with Pete. I cannot believe. If you had told me Disney was gonna do this, I never ever would have believed you.
You two really are the worst actors in Hollywood.
So yeah, Pete's still a bad guy, but now the big machine that turns all the tunes into other tunes is about to explode? Implode? One of those two.
Uh-oh.
Oh. And most notably, Pete gets hit like 1,000,000 times with a laser from the machine. So guess where this is going?
Huh.
Yep, now he's a fucked up hodgepodge of a bunch of different things. See, I see a Transformers leg, I see a Woody leg, I see a Wreck-It Ralph arm. I genuinely don't know. Is that tiger supposed to be from... What is that supposed to be from? Is that a thing? I don't know. I've lost count of everything. Someone tell me in the comments. So yeah, they get chased around by this even more terrifying Sweet Pete, which I didn't think was possible. Actually, no, you know, original Sweet Pete has a special place in my, not really my nightmares, but just the part of my brain that's like, what the fuck? Maybe this is a simulation.
Where are we?
And look at this, we're on the set of a knockoff Winnie the Pooh. For all of my Winnie the Pooh fans that I know watch this channel, Disney really had balls. They would have mentioned the Welcome to Pooh corner with the Nightmare Fuel full body character suits.
I guess they were making the bootleg movies here the whole time.
Yeah, so all the bootleg movies are being made here. Here's Bootleg Simpsons.
Captain?
Oh, Detective Putty, Sergeant Putty, whatever his title is. He's fighting with Ellie, by the way. So go, Ellie, we believe in you.
Get out of the way, you little yahoos! Move it!
Oh, look at that. They're making a knockoff Aladdin movie with Pete. Not Sweet Pete, but like Pete, the original Disney character, Pete playing Aladdin?
2 words, chipmunk soup.
I also cannot be sure, and again, could look this up, we'll probably look it up afterwards, and I can cut it out if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that before he was being voiced by Will Arnett, at the point where he gets transformed into like the hybrid of all the different characters, he starts being voiced by what sounds like Jim Cummings, who's voiced everything, so that kind of makes perfect sense. He voiced Monty in the original cartoon, most episodes anyway. Ooh, brutal. Good for you, Ellie.
What?
Ellie takes Putty out because she's a badass. Fuck that guy.
Don't be so fragile.
ACAB, you freaky stop-motion son of a bitch.
This time you hit me.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
They start trying to create a distraction by hitting each other with a pipe.
Oh, come on, Harold. It's the middle of the night. Just ignore it.
We've been through this, Eileen. It's my job.
I was very confused by this clip until the next clip.
Huh?
They're the animated birds that come up when somebody gets hit in a cartoon. I thought that was kind of cute.
This is the FBI! We've got you surrounded! Yeah! Ugly Sonic!
And then once again, Ugly Sonic coming in clutch. Good for him.
Ah, see? I told you I had a showdown!
Yeah, fuck your teeth, but you know what? You're cool in our book, dude. Just don't want to look at you that long.
Rescue Ranger, bad down.
And then right when everything looks good, Pete fires one bullet at Chip, and Dale takes the blow for him.
Don't mess with me. Not this time, man.
Yeah, you can't do this twice, movie writers. That would be silly, right?
You know the morning I met you? When we were just kids?
No, I don't want a sad part to this movie.
I never told you this, but I begged my mom to let me stay home from school because I didn't have any friends.
I cannot cry over the Chip and Dale live-action movie.
I shouldn't have treated you that way.
Really?
Dale?
But hey, it just was a second fake out. They called themselves out because they knew it was ridiculous, but it was a second fake out. He's fine.
This thing's too special to throw away.
He was saved by the pin. Classic.
If they were filming the bootleg movies here, you don't think... Monty!
And then they open this storage crate, and out come versions of all kinds of characters. Remember how this movie was about human trafficking? What the actual fuck is this movie?
Mates! Oh, Monty!
But look at that! Monty's alright. He's got some Dumbo ears, but he's fine.
No way. Is that?
Wow, those ears are huge!
Gadget!
The whole gang's back together, you guys. It's just like old times. Is that a Care Bear? Jesus Christ. I wonder if some of these characters they were able to get away with because they're supposed to be the bootlegged version, so they were able to not have to get licensing for some of these. I don't know. I have no idea.
The FBI could use someone like you.
Thanks, but I think I'd like to start my own detective agency.
And now that Ellie has become a literal hero, she gets to meet all of her childhood heroes.
I am a huge fan.
Well, nice to meet ya.
She does a great job as like the only human like live action actor that has to interact with all of these cartoon characters.
Sometimes I can't tell what you guys like more, eating nuts or driving us nuts. The worse the joke, the longer the laugh.
That's very true. And so Ellie's going to start her own detective agency. I have to imagine there is room in that interpretation of the ending for all of those characters, the Rescue Ranger characters, to now be actual real-life Rescue Rangers at her agency.
You want to do a Rescue Rangers reboot? Hey, do you think we could get like a pop star to do the theme song?
Probably.
Like a super serious version, even though everyone just wants to hear the original?
3 guesses as to what you're about to hear, but let me be honest, before I can really be salty about it, I have to say, it's actually kind of a bop.
When you need help, just call Bandit.
It's a version of the theme song done by Post Malone. I want to be salty about it, but I've also been bumping it all day because it's a bop.
Fresh Prince, nonsense.
It's actually kind of iconic. I know I'm falling for all of the things that they want me to fall for. I'll talk about it in a minute. There's also a hidden scene after the credits.
Yes, we want Darkwing.
Where we see Darkwing Duck, and then that's actually the end of the movie. That's the end. That's Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers, the movie. I'm exhausted, you guys. I watched this movie last night, and I felt like I needed to just talk to somebody about it. I don't know how to feel. I feel all of the things at once, because I genuinely, just to be real, I genuinely thought I was going to hate this movie, and I kind of wanted to hate this movie. I kind of wanted to come on here and just be like, fuck Disney, this is just a cash grab. And yeah, fuck Disney and this is just a cash grab, but they actually did it in a way that I thoroughly enjoyed, and that is somehow the most terrifying part. Like, I am not here to ruin everybody's fun. I am glad that it is a thing that will bring back nostalgia for everybody. I would be a huge hypocrite if I didn't fully understand the purpose of nostalgia in people's lives. It's what I do on this channel. It's what I'm constantly seeking out, the nostalgic and the weird, and this is both of those things. But it occurred to me at about halfway through the movie that Disney is onto us now, you guys. They know how to make movies that are reboots, that are cash grabs, that are good, that we'll watch. And look, I don't know if that's, you could see that as a good thing or a bad thing. I was gonna say I'm not here to make a big comment on that, but that's literally what I am doing, so I don't know. I think that's just a thing. I think it's an interesting thing, and I think this movie isn't actually bad at all. But like, I also noticed that there's like this point to the movie where you're so caught up in like getting dopamine from all the different little cameos and things that they start actually product placing, and I'm happy about it. Like, they straight up just do a Men's Warehouse ad read.
You're gonna like the way you look, I guarantee it.
You'll never get away with this.
The Men's Warehouse reference?
And I was like, wow, they really did that. And then I was like, wait a minute, of course they did that. That's just advertisement. That's just what this is. I should be giving them props for that, but it was funny. I think we've always loved when Disney makes fun of itself, you know, when Disney's self-aware and they kind of like wink at us and basically say, we know, but still. Like, my favorite movie, one of my favorite Disney movies of all time is Enchanted, and I'm actually planning on doing a video on that pretty soon in the future because it's something very, very special to me. I love it, and I've wanted to talk about it for a long time. I have a dress like Giselle's, and I'm gonna wear it and everything, but anyway, that movie is very much the same, where it's like Disney winking at us, the audience, and making a meta commentary on them as a company and the movies that they make. And it's hard because, like, Disney as a company sucks, but the things that they make, and I talked about this in the last Chip 'n Dale video, but the things that they make are nostalgic to us, so we have to parse out how those two things can coexist together, right? The escapism of what they make and Disney being the perpetrator of a lot of the things that we are trying to escape. So it's like, without trying to make this like too deep, because this is a Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers video, I just think it's interesting, and I think it says a lot about, I don't know, everything that we all feel about Disney, all the good and the bad. You feel it when you watch this movie, all together, and it's actually a pretty good movie. I genuinely did. If you're thinking this is me saying the movie itself was bad, I'm not saying that. I did enjoy the movie. Trying to think of a way to properly end this. I don't know if there is. I think I've just talked myself to the point of insanity, and I need to wrap it up now. So tell me what you think if you've seen the movie, or if you don't plan on seeing the movie and you just watched this. Thank you very much for letting me be the person to tell you about this movie. Thank you for watching as always. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching, liking, commenting, subscribing, sharing. Everything you do to support this channel means the world to me. If you're new here and you're a fan of nonsense, maybe consider sticking around. I post nonsense all the time. And remember, my name's Avery. I'm a YouTuber if you say so, because thanks to you guys, this is technically a YouTube channel. There is no way this video is getting demonetized. There's too many companies that are gonna fight me for advertisement if I can even get it online at all. So if you're seeing this, it's a miracle. Damn.